For this presentation, we will be discussing how SSH, or Secure Shell, provides secure remote access between systems, and how OpenSSH is used to implement this protocol on a Linux server. We will also look at what SSH is, how it works, some good common configuration practices, and we'll also cover 3 key hardening recommendations that will help significantly improve security when using SSH. One of the main takeaways is that secure configuration and access control are just as important as encryption itself when using SSH in protecting remote communications. SSH stands for Secure Shell. It is one of the most important tools for system administrators and security professionals. It was designed to replace older insecure protocols, some examples like Telnet, rlogin, and RSH that transmitted data, including passwords in plain text. SSH ensures that all data sent between a client and a server is encrypted, which helps protect it from interception or tampering. It not only provides a command line interface for remote management, but it can also be used to securely transfer files, create encrypted tunnels, and even forward graphical applications. SSH is much more than just a remote login tool, and it can be a foundation of secure system administration. SSH works through a combination of cryptographic techniques. First, asymmetric cryptography is used during the key exchange. The client and server exchange public keys to verify each other's identity. Then symmetric encryption is established for the active session, which is faster for continuous communication. SSH also uses a hashing to ensure data integrity. This means that the transmitted data hasn't been modified in transit. This layered use of cryptography, asymmetric for identity, symmetric for speed, and then hashing for integrity, makes SSH both secure and efficient. It's a great example of how multiple cryptographic methods can work together to help better protect communication. OpenSSH is the most widely used implementation of the SSH protocol, especially on Linux and Unix-based systems. It was developed by the OpenBSD project with a strong focus on security, reliability, and simplicity. OpenSSH includes a variety collection of tools. Firstly, SSHD, the SSH daemon that runs on the servers and listens for incoming communications. There's SSH, which is the client command used to initiate a remote session. It also utilizes SCP and SFTP for secure file transfers. OpenSSH is so widely trusted in its open source nature because it's constantly updated and audited by the community, which helps reduce the risk of backdoors or hidden vulnerabilities. Installing OpenSSH on Linux can be very simple and can be done using the system's package manager. On Ubuntu or Debian, you would use the sudo apt install command and then put in OpenSSH server. On a Red Hat based system like CentOS, the command would be sudo dnf install. After the installation, the SSH service must be then enabled and started using the systemct1 enable commands. And then enabling it ensures that the service automatically starts every time the system boots. Once running, the server listens on port 22 by default, which allows SSH clients to connect securely. The heart of the SSH configuration lies in the SSH configuration file. This file defines how the SSH service behaves, all the way from authentication methods to connection restrictions. Some key settings that you might see include the permit root login, and you would want to put this to no. It prevents direct logins by the root account. Password authentication, which you would also want to put to no, because this disables password logins and enforces a key-based authentication. The allow users or allow groups, which defines exactly who can log in remotely. And then port 22, which specifies the network port used for the SSH connection. And then changing these settings correctly can make a huge difference in reducing the attack surface of your server. The first hardening recommendation is key-based authentication. This is one of the most effective ways to secure SSH, and basically it switches from a password authentication to a key-based authentication. With this method, users generate a key pair using the SSH keygen. The private key stays on the user's machine, while the public key is copied to the server. When logging in, the server verifies the key pair instead of asking for a password. This can prevent brute force password attacks entirely, and because there's no password to guess. Once the keys are configured, you can disable the password logins in the settings. This simple change significantly strengthens the SSH security and is widely recommended for production environments. The second hardening recommendation is to disable root login. Disabling the root login, by default, attackers often target the root account since it has full privileges. So in the configuration file, you can set the permit root login to no to block direct root access. So instead of that, administrators should log in as a regular user and then use the sudo command for elevated privileges. This way, even if an attacker somehow gains the SSH access, they won't automatically have root level controls. This would be a good practice across all secure systems and reduces the total risk of compromise. The third hardening recommendation would be to limit access and monitor activity. So another essential security measure would be to limit which users or group can log in via SSH. The allow users or allow group settings lets you explicitly define who can connect to the SSH. Additionally, you could change the SSH port from default 22 to something non-standard like 2222 or 8022, which can help reduce automated attacks from bots that will scan for open SSH ports. Installing a tool like fail2ban adds another layer of protection by monitoring failed login attempts and automatically blocking suspicious IPs. Regularly checking the SSH logs also helps detect unusual activity early, which can give you a chance to respond before an escalation. In conclusion, SSH is an essential protocol for secure system administration and remote access. Through encryption and authentication, it ensures the confidentiality and integrity of data between different systems. OpenSSH is the most widely used implementation and provides a reliable and flexible toolset for Linux. However, a secure setup goes beyond just installing SSH. You also need proper configuration and hardening to help stay protected. The three main recommendations were to use a key-based authentication instead of passwords, to disable the root login, and to limit user access and monitoring for suspicious activity. Following these steps will greatly reduce the risk of unauthorized access and help keep your systems secure.